Nigeria's Apex Court settled the constitutional status of lotteries and gaming in Nigeria when in its judgment delivered on November 22, 2024, the Supreme Court held that lotteries and gaming are residual matters falling within the legislative competence of the states. But the National Assembly earlier this month passed another legislation on lottery and gaming, termed the Central Gaming Bill, triggering the latest controversy, as top legal experts say the new bill, as passed by the lawmakers, is illegal and unconstitutional, based on the Apex Court judgment, which held that the National Assembly lacked the necessary legal powers to legislate on lotteries, which is a residual matter for the state houses of assemblies. Let's get down to brass tacks now. As Olajide Boladuro, the Director General of Oyo State Gaming and Lottery Board, is here with us in the studio. Good to see you, Mr. Boladuro.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, my viewers.
Well, we have a very interesting situation here, whereby there is some kind of conflict. The Supreme Court ruled. I think the original case was between Lagos State and the federal government, and other states were also interested. And now the National Assembly is saying it does not understand what the Supreme Court is saying. They have an online gaming bill that is now, I think, before the president. So the states that are saying this is a matter under residual matters, as it is in the US, in UK, and other European countries. Now, what exactly do the state governments want? You are in charge of lottery and gaming in Oyo State. What do you want the president to do specifically?
Thank you so much, Dr. Bati and the other crew. Again, this matter has been lingering forever. It's something that started transpiring in 2008. Like I'm just going to read something quickly so that we can deliberate on it. So online does not change jurisdiction. That is what we believe. And regulations is determined by law and subject matter, not by technology, which is the argument of the people that are pushing the Central Gaming Bill. Take, for instance, alcohol licensing is a local government function, as we all know in this country. If alcohol is sold online through platforms like drinks.ng, does that not suddenly convert alcohol regulation into a federal matter? By its same reasoning, the University of Suya.com sells suya online. The National Assembly cannot claim to regulate suya vendors nationwide simply because sales are digital. Technology is only a channel.
You should not even tamper with suya, because Rufai likes suya.
And technology is only a channel. It does not confer jurisdiction. And that's the position of the Supreme Court. The court analogy, if the High Court in Lagos or Kano holds a proceedings virtually and lawyers join from Abuja or abroad, jurisdiction does not shift from the Federal High Court. Jurisdiction still flows because technology allows somebody to represent somebody from Abuja or abroad while they are sitting in Jigawa. It does not now change the case to a federal case. So and that's exactly what we are trying to say. And that's what the Supreme Court said. The Constitution is supreme. This case was started in 2008 by the former general manager of Lagos State Gaming and Lottery, Mr. Lanre Gbajabiamila, who is the younger brother of Mr. Femi Gbajabiamila, the current chief of staff to the president. The federal government was overreaching at that time, so he went to the Solicitor General, Barrister Lateef Fagbemi, who was the one that filed the originating summons, and they sued the federal government. So fast forward, he leaves that position and gets a federal National Lottery Act was passed in 2005. So he gets the Director General National Lottery Regulatory Commission, and he gets to the federal body and he switches 360 and he starts fighting the states. When this was a case he started in 2008, he was the one that took the federal government to court. So he now switched gears and now saying that the federal government has the right. And the Constitution is clear, like the Supreme Court rightly said. We were in court all through the proceedings. It was unanimous. Even the current Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kekere-Ekun, was very, very conversant with this case before she became the Chief Justice. And they ruled unanimously that gaming and lottery is neither in the exclusive list or the concurrent list. So that makes it a residual matter. So it's been buried. There's no ambiguity. There's no lacuna in the judgment.
What do you want President Tinubu to do?
So we want him to withhold access.
Before him.
Yeah, so they, of course, through their cronies, they pushed it through the Green Chamber. They pushed it through the Senate to do concurrent legislation. I mean, sign right on it. If you notice, when they were even passing it, the Senate President, Senator Akpabio, is always recusing himself because he was a former governor. Senator Shiomole raised an objection against it. Sereka Dixon, former governors, they raised objection because they know that this revenue belongs to the states. And the Supreme Court has ruled. Okay. So, I mean, the Senate President is not part of it, to be honest. And when they passed it, it was the Deputy Senate President that presided on it at that time. So we want the President to remember what he started. He's a champion of true federalism. Yeah. When he was governor in 2007, his second term, remember when President Obasanjo withheld some funds from them, the local government fund. Governor Tinubu at that time was the one that sent a team of Lagos State people to various countries, including South Africa, to go and understudy how they run gaming and lottery for them to be able to get some sort of revenue to help. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I mean, you've already stated the background, and you've now stated what it is that you're looking for for the president to deny assent to that particular bill. Hopefully, this will be granted because based on your argument, and as we've seen, and the Supreme Court ruling. But I think maybe perhaps the argument, just for the sake of argument, would be that this is looking at online gaming as opposed to what you would find the current gaming structure that's more pervasive in Nigeria. What do you have to say about that? I know you say that, okay, using, virtual courts as an example, it's not the same. But that's probably the main argument that they have. Is there any merit at all to it?
No, there's no merit. Absolutely not. Because there was a company called Give and Take. They are no more in business now, so I can mention their name. They sued Oyo State. And they said gaming was trade and commerce. At the Federal High Court in Ibadan, then Professor Ilowo SAN was the Attorney General of Oyo State then. And we won the case overwhelmingly because the court ruled that it is not trade and commerce. This is a game of chance. So we won that job. And the Supreme Court levied on that judgment as well. So because it is now online, whatever the federal government can do, we have signed MOUs with the FCC, NITDA, and other federal agencies. So we formed an association after we won the judgment called Federation of State Gaming Regulators of Nigeria. So we came under one body. 26 states now. We were 22 states joining the case. So we're 26 states now. And with that now, what we do is we are issuing unified license. So we can do the same thing that the federal government is claiming that they want to do, whether online or in the sea or anywhere. The Constitution is very clear, and that's what we are standing on. And the Supreme Court judgment is what we should uphold.
Let me just make you laugh. You asked me a question, so I want to quote somebody from Oyo State, if my memory serves me right, Obesere, that you said, what happened? Why is it that the same people that were fighting when they were in the States are now switching in the federal? Like Obesere will say, Eko Fedira. Ekoti federal. That's why they've
I get that.
That's just
the federal.
Ekoti federal. So
Lagos has turned
to federal.
Eko-federal.
So basically, we say Eko-federal, Ekoti federal. So things have to swap. Let me play devil's advocate here. I get their argument, and what they're saying is the ubiquitous nature, let me borrow me that English, the ubiquitous nature of the internet. But in your own arguments, there's also something called, as regards internet, incumbent traffic flow from a particular state. Despite the fact that we can have a ubiquitous IP on the internet, there's also something called an incumbent traffic flow, where you have the most traffic flow for a particular service.
Correct.
So if a website, for instance, is opened and promoted in Ibadan, despite the fact that the website goes out to the world, there's a particular area that has the highest traffic flow from where the website is being promoted largely. Can you help them unpack that conundrum? Because I get what they are saying. They are saying once it's on the internet, it's free for all. It's everything. Revenue can come from everywhere. But there's still an area of concentration. That's why when you check a website, you see the region at which you have the highest level of clicks based on the area at which that website has been promoted for. Can you explain that conundrum to them?
Okay, so basically, I won't mention any company's name, but basically when they are online, and what we have done is companies that are online, people that gamble in Oyo State or Taraba State, there's a way to measure them.
Yeah, you see everything online.
You see everything with the system that they have put in place. There's a unified system that we have that will separate that. For instance, when they were the defunct National Lottery Regulatory Commission, when they were issuing licenses, they would say, "Oh, if you get a license, pay a certain amount, and you can sing, you can go anywhere. You are not doing retail." But Oyo State citizens are betting. Ogun State citizens are betting. And what is due to Ogun State is not going to Ogun State.
And you can actually see the traffic chart.
Absolutely.
Generated in the states.
So, I mean, that's why we're saying that the states are where these things are happening. These states is where all these activities are germinating from. So there's no way that you tell us that federal government has jurisdiction. And the Constitution does not support that. That is where the 1999 Constitution is what if they want to do that, let them do a constitutional amendment. Correct. And if they do that, they will now know that it is out of the hands of the states.
That is the main point.
Exactly.
But let me ask you a question about culture. I am conservative in many areas. This gaming and lottery, it's speculative. People looking for profit where they have not put in work. So don't you think that some of the people who are opposing this, they are coming from a position of culture and morality, that if you want to make money, do it through hard work, not all this gaming and as Yorubas would say.
I'll give you
I want you to explain that cultural dimension to it. Let's leave the Constitution.
Okay.
But this thing about all this work without effort, gaming, lottery, as a national culture.
What's today? Thursday. As we speak today, the purse of the Mega Million in the US is 1.8 billion as of today. Nobody won 2 days ago. The numbers, because I follow it. I used to live there, so I know. But I used to play there too as well when I was there. Yeah. So basically, what I say about lottery and gaming is this: you don't make it an habit. You go to the gas station in the US. I want $20 gas on pump 18, and after my pumping of gas, $2 is left. I go back down. I want to collect my change. Instead of that $2 change, give me $2 Mega Million ticket. It's 1.8 billion. You never know. It's a game of chance. So we always preach to our punters that you don't make it a habit. Addictive, it's something. Don't make it addictive. It's something that you do at leisure. It's not something that you base your income or your living on. So that is a simple answer to that. So it's just something that you do like.
Just as you say, if you must drink moderately.
Exactly. If we cigarette smoking is dangerous to health, but people still smoke.
I think there should be a lot more advocacy around that.
Also, we do a lot of that.
Well, we see the drinking one, the smoking one, but the gaming one is not as loud or powerful. I think maybe just a bit more work on that. Like
I quite agree with you, but as part of our licensing criteria to all those operators, we make sure that they do a lot of advocacy and they do a lot of underage.
No, you guys should buy the ads. Part of the money you're making, buy the ads.
Thank you very much, Mr. Boladuro, coming all the way from Oyo State to be in our studio in Lagos.